All right, we are live. Hey, everybody, how are you? Welcome. Glad that you could to make it. I have a very special guest with me. Ron's with us today. He's going to be from Ron's Keto Cafe, and we're going to talk a little bit about his journey and his story, and some information about to where he's been and where he's going, and his future plans and his past plans and all that good stuff. Um, so I do have a link down to his page or his channel down below. So go down there and check that out. And I will take a minute here and I will pin it up as well um, in the comments here, so you can add it. I should have done that a little bit of ahead of time. I guess I didn't quite plan that quite right, but. So I'm going to actually have Ron, if you don't mind, you can tell us a little bit about your story, and we'll get started.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you for having me and inviting me to be a guest. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Ron. Hi, Bubbles. And I live in a city called Leominster, Massachusetts. It's north central Massachusetts, about 40 miles west of Boston. And I'm married. I've been married for 42 years, have a little kitty cat. And so this start out with the journey. So I've been big all my life. I started in my adolescent years as probably be my junior high school years. When I went to junior high school in the early 70s, I started picking up a lot of weight. Kids were picking on me, and we were poor growing up. And when your mom puts out food on the table, you either ate or you didn't, and you went hungry. And moms used to always tell us to eat everything on our plate. And now I don't eat everything on my plate anymore. When I eat, and then when I'm full, I stop. And that's how I do that. And then if I got any extra on my plate, I'll put it for another day or for another snack later on in the daytime. But so I officially started my journey on August 17th of 2020. I was 325 pounds, and my goal weight was to get down to 180 pounds. And my heaviest that I ever weighed was 400 pounds when I married my wife in 91. We've been together since the early 80s. And yeah, it's been a journey. I've tried every diet that you could possibly think of. And we decided to finally settle on the ketogenic lifestyle. Now backtrack to 2020 of January. The big wake-up call was in the middle part of the summer there. We were doing some band concerts that I was filming. We only had 4 that year because of everything got shut down and shortly after that. And I was moving left to right around the outer perimeter, and then I couldn't move without dragging the cane, and I was hanging on to everything, and I had like 10 cameras set up all the way around the perimeter. And I told my wife, I said, hey, look, if I don't get this weight off or anything, there's not going to be any more filming for me. And over the course of that year, back in early January, I weighed like almost 367. And how I know that, every time you go to the doctors, they print out one of those doctor charts. And I have that documented on record. And we were talking to the doctor about weight loss plans and stuff like that. And, you know, I've been on every diet known to man, including the famous seafood diet, and everything you see, you eat. And I had tried the Weight Watchers, the Jenny Craig's, the Nutrisystems, you know, and they got a whole host of other ones. The Weight Watchers wasn't too bad. I really loved that when I first started using it because they had that app that you can use, and you used to be able to scan your food. And once you hit your point total, you were pretty much done for the day. And you could eat bread, regular bread, and all that stuff there. And but you know, I kind of gave that up after a while for some reason. And then over the course of that journey, there, back around probably July when I had a physical, my doctor, she asked me, she was on board with it too. It's very important to find a doctor that support you. She asked me, well, you want weight loss surgery? And I said, well, yes. And we were thinking about getting it. And prior to my mom passing away in 2010 of cancer, she had that done back in the early 70s. And it was one of the very first ones they had done of Canada. My mom lived out in Canada at the time. She had a lot of complications over the years with it. She couldn't hold down her food and everything. And so she actually begged me not to get it done. And so the doctor asked me if I wanted surgery, and so she okayed it. And we had all our pre-ops. We went to Boston for a pre-scheduled surgery date and everything. And then I thought about it, and I says, no, there's got to be a different way than this. And then after my conscious, God, whatever you want to call it. If you don't believe in that, that's fine, but I do. So if you don't, I'm sorry if I offend you. Spoke to me and they said, look, I gave you tools to video. I want you to put yourself out there publicly, get involved with a couple of support groups, just like a AA, document your journey that way. And, even if not one person subscribes to your channel, that's fine, but put yourself out there publicly, because you never know who might, you might affect to help them to lose weight. And, so I became involved with the ketogenic lifestyle, and between God and that, it literally saved my life and holding me accountable for my journey. And it's been a marvelous experience, along my path, and I continue to inspire many other people. Now, when I originally started my YouTube channel, I had it called Changing Times Living the Ketogenic Lifestyle. I didn't like that name, and then I switched it over to Ron's Weight Loss Journey. And then when I'm realizing that the name Ron's Weight Loss Journey, it's like 7 words in it, so it was really hard for people to remember. So then I shortened it down to Ron's Keto Cafe to make it more personal. And since I did that, my subscriber count went up to almost 200 in about a month and a half time. So, and of course, you guys out there that are watching this, I can't thank everybody enough for helping me along my path and my journey. And I continue to this day to inspire as many people as I can. In the end, it's not really about me. It's about inspiring as many as I can to get healthy. And you have to really be healthy nowadays with everything that's still going on. And, I was just telling Alan a little while ago that most of you don't know this. So I went back to work, and I've been retired for a number of years now. And I had hip surgery last June, and I felt really well enough to return back to work. So I'm working at Hannaford's. I do a picking job. I did that before. I really liked it. I'm at a different Hannaford in our city. And anyways, this morning I got up and my foot had some issues going on. I saw some little blood spots going into the bathroom when I was walking, and my foot's all bleeding, and it's really, really sore. So I called up urgent care this morning, and I ended up going down. They wrapped my foot up, and now I got a follow up next week. And so keep me in your thoughts and prayers for that. And hopefully it's just nothing more than just dried, cracked feet and maybe athlete's foot. But I don't want to. Alan, you know as well as I do, the problem with YouTube, or even Google for that matter, you could go to type it in, you get 1,000 answers. And again, I always state that I'm not a doctor. I don't make any medical claims, but if you say something like that on Facebook, you're going to have 1,000 people who think they're doctors. so I'm trying not to get into that issue, but that's pretty much about it. My goal weight is to get down to 180. This morning I weighed myself. I'm down to 220 pounds. I have my moments where thank you. I have my moments where I gain weight. Sometimes I lose weight, and I don't do keto 100% all the time. If I want something, I have something. Now, here's something that's pretty interesting, you guys and gals out there. I was watching a lot of videos at the very, very beginning, and I came across some YouTubers, Keto Rewind, The Incredible Shrieking Steppy, Kim's Weight Loss Commitment, Alan's channel, Tom and Mike, and Mike, and a whole host of other ones that I watch. We're all here to support one another, and we're all here to help one another. We don't criticize anybody in our channels. So I just really enjoy helping people. Go ahead.
So what was the weight when you started doing keto? What was your weight?
My official starting weight was 325 pounds, and that was on September 1st. August 1st, 2020. But I actually started I posted my first video September 1st, and then my official starting weight was 325 pounds. So as of today, I'm down to 220, and so I lost like 105 pounds since that day. And I think that's remarkable. Over 100 pounds of weight loss. The weight's been staying off all this time. I went from a size 4X shirt to a size medium, and I'm in size 32 pants from a size 60. And I kept one shirt and I kept one pants size as a reminder that I never want to go back to being that big again. Yeah. And all my videos, I had talked about my gobbler. We had a big
Yeah. So I want to say hi to a couple folks that I saw come in. Bubbles came in. Thank you for coming. Scott's here from Platte River Keto.
Hi, Scott.
Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys have questions or something else for Ron or myself? Just type it in the comments and we'll try to get to them. So do you follow any kind of do you track your carbs at all or anything else?
Yeah, I do. I use a program called Carb Manager, and I got the paid version. There is a free version, and the paid version, I paid it for the entire year, and I really love it because you can scan your foods, and you can set your macros up to like I'm doing about 30 carbs and macros a day, and that's what I'm doing right now, and about 2,500 calories or 1 or 2 or less. And you scan your food, and you can type your food, it'll come right up, okay? I got all my photographs in Carb Manager throughout the course of my journey, and it tracks it through like a hill, like a graph scale, so you can follow your journey that way. And I really love using that. And you can also create recipes. It has a ton of recipes that you can download and just follow along. When I do my recipes, guys, unless it calls for a specific ingredient, if you notice most of these YouTube, like Rachel Ray and those creators, I'm a dump and go guy. I'll just go over everything by what I think and by taste, and that's pretty much how I do that. Now, I made a lasagna this past week using chicken deli meat. It was really, really good, and thing of ricotta cheese, and I was layering out like a lasagna, and I replaced the noodles with the chicken, and it was even my wife loves that. So when my wife likes that, I know I got something, So that's how I've been successful with my weight loss. So anybody, so what do we got going on here? I'm just looking at some other chats.
So Rick Quinn 96 is in the house. Thank you for coming. Tuber Chat's here. Thank you for coming. Tuber Chat also did say he shared it out on Reddit. I really, really appreciate that. So go over there and check out these guys' channels as well if they have a channel. I know Tuber Chat does lives 3 or 4 times a week. So go over there and check them out, especially if you're a content creator looking to grow your channel. He can help you out a lot on some of that stuff. Now, Bubbles is on here saying that health is a tricky thing when you can't get trusted doctors, medical fields, as much as we were led to believe when we were growing up. It looks like Western doctors, which I mean, what is meant to keep you unhealthy, going to the doctors, etc. So I kind of agree with that. It's kind of, I don't think doctors, I think what it's kind of saying, you don't really know. They don't really know what's wrong with you. It's kind of a process of elimination. It takes a long time. It takes years. And we're finding out some of the stuff we've been preaching and talking about, eating and not eating, has not necessarily been good or bad for us. So I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, Ron, or.
Actually, I do actually. So I've been noticing, like my ex-brother-in-law sent me a link over there, and I saw it on the news. That I've been noticing lately that keto's been getting an awful lot of bad rap again. The erythritol that we use, to replace our sugar supplement. I use monk fruit and stuff like that. And I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I'm saying to myself, who is doing all these studies there? Is it Weight Watchers doing these studies and they want you to go over their programs or something like that? They'll tell you that stuff is bad for you. Then one day they tell you it's good for you. I can remember they did a study on coffee a while back ago, and they said coffee, if you drink too much of it, it could cause you a stroke and all kinds of health issues. And then they're saying coffee is good for you. So I don't listen to those people anymore. I listen to my body and what my body tells me. And if I want something, I have something. It's plain and simple. Now, earlier I lost my train of thought, but I can remember when I first got involved with the ketogenic lifestyle, when I was doing my homework, I saw some videos that everybody knows Dr. Oz, right? And he had Tim Tebow on, the football player, on, and he was doing keto, and it really fascinated on me, and the amount of weight that he had lost, and the different foods that he was eating. And I go, and then I heard Tim saying that Dr. Oz, if you want something, have something. If it's not keto, don't beat yourself up. If you want a regular slice of pizza, have it. If you want to eat whole pizza, have it. I'm not preaching that, but I mean, I do once in a while. I know, as I said, I don't do keto 100% of the time, but I'm pretty much about 95% of the time I'm doing keto, and then I'm right back on the diet the next day. But I don't beat myself up about it. It is what it
Yeah.
is. I mean, if you go to somebody's house and they're not on keto or your weight loss program, how do you get around that? Well, simple. You know, you can bring your own food if you want, or if you know, without offending them, we can ask them, hey, can I bring some food over to the house? Maybe you might like what I'm eating, or don't even tell them it's keto. You'd be surprised how many people don't know that keto really tastes really good. You know, the foods that we make, you know. And I don't know how many, Alan, you probably might have been aware of this too there. How many times have you told people in the past that you're doing keto and they give you one of these strange looks, like you're doing keto, and when I first started telling people I was doing keto, they looked at me like I was, like, okay, I heard a lot of bad things about keto, but it's not really that way. It's just you have to really educate yourself as far as how to do the keto, and when even some of the older guys that I volunteer with, the elderly guys that fall within the 70 and 80-year-old range, they were saying, that so you what do you do? Eat a pound of bacon and a pound of, a dozen eggs all the time. They totally, they don't get it. We do eat eggs, we do eat bacon. You can have bacon, you can have sausages. I just don't really eat any white bread. If that's all I have, sometimes I will have it, but I don't know about you, Alan, but when I was a kid growing up, I loved bread. I mean, I could eat tons of bread, but that's so carby food.
I'm a bread addict.
Yeah, my mom used to make homemade bread, and when I was staying in Canada on vacation, I'm not kidding you. I was upstairs in my bedroom with my wife, and you could smell the homemade bread being made. And I go downstairs, and I have a fresh loaf of bread on the table for breakfast. My mom used to make the butter make her own butter. There's nothing better than homemade. It was a bomb, And then they have a favorite cup of tea there, and that was our treat when I used to go down there. But at that time, I was like 400 pounds and all that. Now, getting back to the wake up call. Back in January of 2020, I had a MRI, and we all thought it was my back that was causing all the issue. And so I went up to our local hospital to get into the MRI machine, and they couldn't get into the machine because I was too big. So they had to set me up for one of the bigger machines up in Worcester, which is about 40, maybe 30 miles on the other direction. So I went up there and I got the MRI and everything. I had some issues going on with my back at the time, but all this time we thought, and I kept going to Worcester to get cortisone shots and all that stuff. And all that time it wound up being my hip, right? So then I started going to a chiropractor, and the chiropractor was looking at me. And he said, "I want to see the way you're walking and everything." And I had my cane. My cane became my best friend. And all this time I'm walking and whatever. And he said, "Ron, I don't think it's your back." I said, "I think it's your hip. Why don't we set up well, first they checked my knees, and one of my knees had some arthritis and related to our age group, and they said that was fine. I don't need any knee surgery or anything." And then they x-rayed both hips, and the right hip was the bone to bone. So I ended up having the right hip replaced last June, and I'm totally fine now with the right hip. Got some issues going on with the left hip. We're going to have that done probably soon, within another month or two. I'm not really sure yet. Okay. And and I'm fine with that. And then when I had the hip surgery, 2 weeks later, I had a hernia surgery in my lower groin area, and I was like really hurting. I had a lot going on that year. We had within about almost a 2-month period. I had 2 big major surgeries, and then they wanted to do a colonoscopy on me at the same time. They goes, "No, I'm all done with surgeries. You can put down on the back burner the next year." So that's where I am right now with all that stuff there. But I would ask for everybody's prayers in regards to my feet, because we really need our feet when we're walking right now, and they're really hurting me right now. So it's going on.
I will certainly put you on my prayer list. So.
So anybody? Okay.
So Bubbles is saying that he's asking about, or he's reading today that how your gut biomes they're not right. They won't absorb magnesium correctly, which leads to calcium not being absorbed correctly. So then he goes on to say that it's leading to calcification of your arteries. So I believe that, at least in my opinion, and again, this is my opinion only, I'm no doctor or medical professional or anything else. It's just my opinion is your gut health is pretty important. So I take a probiotic and I try to eat correctly to make sure that my gut biome is pretty healthy so that I can absorb the right nutrients and stuff like that as well as it helps with some of the bathroom issues and stuff of that nature. But that's just my own personal opinion, Bubble. So I would, you know, I don't really worry about the absorption of vitamins or minerals because I think I try to take a pretty good care of my gut. So Ron, what do you, when you say you're tracking carbs, do you have like kind of a daily goal that you're trying to hit or trying to stay under when you're tracking carbs or?
Uh, well, I just posted week 5 video. Well, what I've been doing was right now was I'm reorganizing my portable hard drives, and I got the number of portable hard drives. So for those of you that might be thinking about starting a weight loss journey, Alan and I maybe Alan could do a whole series on tips and tricks on how to start a weight loss journey. And I'll have my own version. But when I first started my weight loss journey, I got a portable hard drive and I document all my video and all my photographs into a portable hard drive. And I got it all organized by profile photographs, food recipes, food videos that I've done. And I got it kind of all set up and well organized. And my only regret was at the very beginning of my weight loss, I didn't have any more full frame photographs, and a lot of them had that mask on there. It's really drove me crazy with some of the photographs that I took. But getting back to your question, I try to keep my calories to about 2,500 a day, and when I scan all my information in with Carb Manager, it tracks the calories as well as the protein and everything.
Right.
You got 3 circles you fill up, and when they're full, I'm pretty much done for the day. Now I've always I fast. I also fast. I don't know if Alan, I don't know, you fast too, right?
Yeah, I fast
Yeah.
usually in the morning.
Yeah,
I
I
have
do.
been lately.
I usually start eating around 11 in the morning, and I cut it off around 6 at night. And I've always done that since the first day I started doing the ketogenic lifestyle. And I don't count my coffee as my fast. You have to have my coffee in the morning. I usually have about 2, maybe 3 cups of coffee. I use then a
Yeah.
plant medium roast, and I put 1 month fruit in it, and I put a little bit of light cream in it, and that's all I have throughout my morning, and I'm generally good to go to the day. And I'll drink water with some electrolytes in it, and 1 can of Coke Zero a day. That's all I have. And then
Yeah.
I might have a late cup of coffee in the afternoon, or in most cases, like I'm having right now, a cup of tea.
Yeah. Yeah. So Discover Sustainability's here, and Johanna Farrell's here as well.
Hi,
So
Joanna.
welcome to the live stream.
So this is just to update you guys. I'm Ron from Leominster, Massachusetts, and Alan invited me to come on and talk about my weight loss journey, and we can answer any questions that you need to ask. And I wanted to ask you, Alan, how much weight did you lose?
I've lost about 60 pounds. So I
Oh,
was about 240 pounds. And my story was kind of, I went to the doctors and the doctor said, hey, I've been telling you for a while, you're pre-diabetic. And so next visit, when you come in 6 months, I'm going to be writing you a prescription to start taking some medication for diabetes. You've got high blood pressure. You're headed for a world of hurt. My mother had type 2 diabetes. I got other family members that have had type 2 diabetes, and I didn't want to go down that same road. And my doctor was the one that told me to do the keto diet. He says, I would look out and check out the keto diet, and kind of that may be something you can do and something you might enjoy doing, and really help you lose weight. And I had done Weight Watchers before, and I lost the weight and then I gained it back. You spend a year losing it, and then I spend a year gaining it all back, and then some.
Oh yeah, we all pretty much have done that. The yo-yo dieting over the years, and I can't begin to tell you how many times I tried to diet. There's nothing wrong with all of them. They're all marvelous programs. They all do work, but the trick of it is you got to stay with it and be consistent. And when I came across the ketogenic lifestyle and I saw how the YouTubers were doing all this, and well, geez, if you get enough subscribers on your YouTube channel, you can eventually monetize your channel, you know. And I'm like halfway there, and it goes, oh my gosh, I didn't even think I'd get one person to follow me. Never mind, over 500 now, you know. So it's been a good, it's been a good journey there. I just enjoy helping people. I just recently started doing some lives. And then I'll do like a pop-up live, and I'll get better at it as I go along with it. But it just right now everything's all just a experimental process with the live programs. And every now and then when a great YouTuber like Alan invites me on, you know, I'll be more than happy. I'll be more than happy to come on and oblige you guys. And I love your channel, Alan. The way you you know, you prep your food and how you do your process and all that stuff like that. And you know, a lot of my older videos, I still have. I got about 300 older videos that I never posted, and I'm going through some of them. I'm taking my time with them, and I'm usually up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning every morning. And what I'll do is I'll typically will go on. I'll have about an hour of prayer time, and then I'll go in and I'll start watching some older videos. And at the very beginning when I was doing some of these videos, my camera was flipped the other way. And now with the program that I use Adobe Premiere. It gives you. I know how to flip videos. I know how to edit the voice, and I know how to do all that good stuff. That you know, when at the very beginning, I didn't know how to do any of that stuff in that particular program, and that's what I ended up using to edit all my video. Editing takes a lot of time, guys. So if you people that do videos right now, you know, hats off to you guys. Whatever program, what do you use to do your editing?
I use a program called VSDS or
VSDS. Is that a monthly fee program?
Yeah, it's a free program that I use, but because I do all my editing on Windows, so it has to be Windows based, and it's free. And I'd have to hold on a second. Let me look, see what. So it's VSDC. I'm sorry. So
yes, okay, yeah. I use it. I use Adobe Premiere Creative Cloud because you know I went to school for graphics and web design. I got a degree in that field, but I never really used it for a job. You know, but so I know how to do Adobe programs. I know how to do After Effects and Photoshop. I'm very efficient with Lightroom and all those programs. And, you know, I take a lot of photography from my city, and I'll go on location and snapshot a lot of photographs from our local events. But as I told Alan earlier, I just recently went back to work, and everything's so expensive, and I just wanted to earn a little bit of extra money. And I had a lot to prove to myself that the job wasn't just the job that I was doing before at the other place. It was the way I was not properly trained, and I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it. I'm ready to go on my own, and then I have this issue going on with my foot. So I hope it's not going to be an issue going forward, because I don't want to give up the job right now. And if I have to leave the job, maybe there might be another job in the store that I could do that won't be so you know, involved in it, you know. But you know, I never worked for a place in all my life that the people were so friendly. I mean, everybody comes up to me. They ask me, can I help get you anything? They talk to me every day. I love talking to the customers. I love helping the customers out. And, you know, they just want you to succeed over there. And I like working in that type of environment. My only problem, Alan, with guys, if you're working in a grocery store, and I'm picking for a customer, like you do your order online and I'm picking for you, I'm going through the bakery aisle and you can smell that fresh aroma, that bread being baked. It goes, oh my goodness. And then I'm walking by this, they got this like buffet island set up where you could go make a chicken plate with some potatoes or whatever, and you put it in the plastic container and you go pay for it, right? I just want to go over there, grab a couple of pieces of the chicken, walk around with them, munch around the store while I'm walking around the store. But I told that the supervisor, and he started laughing. I goes, yeah, if you do that, you definitely would be fired, you know? And I goes, I know, but that's what I think about when that thing there, you know, you're sitting out there looking at food all day and you're hungry all day, you know? And so I got to cut that out. So I just hope I can continue on with the job, because I really like what I'm doing, and I really like the people there, you know? And I'm worried this week because we got a storm coming. We got a storm coming in Tuesday, Monday, and it's going to last until Wednesday. They're saying about 1.5 feet of snow, and it's going to be that heart attack snow, though, that wet, heavy snow. So
that time of year.
Yeah, and don't forget too, we got to switch the clocks tonight. I believe tonight we got to switch the clocks and spring forward or fall back, something like that. Yeah. So what did we lose? We gained an hour sleep tonight? No, we lose an hour sleep
Yeah, we
tonight. Yeah,
gain. No, we lose an hour
yeah,
because
we lose
the
it.
clocks go ahead, so you lose an hour.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so you
Yeah, I
got to
don't
get up
know.
early, go to church or
Yeah,
whatever. So Hyla's in the house. Hi, Hyla. So again, you guys go over there. Please check out Hyla's channel. She's been a huge supporter of the channel. So go over there and check her out. She's got a great channel. She's growing pretty good too. She's
So
a little over 800 now. She's getting close.
what I try to do is that when I go on these YouTubers, like I love the lies, especially I like your Pal Misty and all the other YouTubers. I'll always I'll copy and paste the user's name, and I'll go into another browser and I'll click on it to see if I'm subscribed to that channel, and then I'll start watching some of their videos. The next thing I know, I've been watching videos all hours in the night because there's a lot of if you guys and gals have a YouTube channel, you all do a marvelous job with yours, you know. Yeah. So I just got a little kitty cat. Go ahead.
I was going to say, talk a little bit about cooking now. What are some of your favorite keto foods that you like to cook? And, I know you do quite a bit of cooking on your channel.
Oh, yeah. So my number one all-time favorite food is pizza. I love pizza. And who doesn't love pizza? I made a chicken crust pizza using canned chicken meat. I made a spinach crust pizza. I made a carrot crust pizza. I made a flatbed pizza crust. I made a pizza in a mug. That was pretty interesting. 90-second keto in the mud for pizza and crustless pizza. I made broccoli crust pizza. I made that, and I also made some where I took a cup and I think it was 2 cups of mozzarella cheese, and I melted it in the microwave and the 30-second intervals until I was able to work with it. And then I added some almond flour and an egg and some other stuff with it until I made my dough. And then I popped it onto the parchment paper, rolled that out into a pizza. And then I put it on. Then I added my Rayo's pizza sauce and some more cheese and whatever you want for toppings, and that came out really fantastic. And that's my favorite go-to now that I use. I made using those egg life wraps that I buy on occasion. I made my own tortilla type things, and I use those. Shaffle pieces, or I'll make my easy peasy shaffle recipe. I'll take 2 slices of ultra thin cheese from Sargento. Put 1 slice of cheese on the little mini dash, and then a little bit of 1 egg mixture and another slice of cheese, and then you got your perfectly round little shaffle. And then I'll take 4 of them and lay it out in the flat sheeting pan and put some. I use Ray's pizza sauce a lot because that's a marvelous company, and the macros are very good. And then I put whatever you want for toppings on that, and I'll put it in either the air fryer or the broiler in the oven. And those are really the bomb to die for. And I just made recently a couple of cheesecake recipes that I did. Strawberry cheesecake from Myra from Low Carb Love.
Yeah,
that was really good. I never had that before. That particular recipe, I wanted to try it, but I got the exact amount of ingredients that she did, and I did it exactly the same way. It was really, really great. But the next time I make a recipe, I'm going to make the exact same one, except I'm not going to put the. I'm going to try it without the graham crust. In other words, we took almond flour and we built a crust space around the bottom of the springform pan. Next time I do it, I'm just going to do it without that, and just to try to cut back on the carbs. But it was great. The chicken blue. I made one of those. I took some chicken breast, sliced it, pounded it all down with a pounder, and then I wrapped some Swiss cheese in the middle, and then I wrapped some ham on it, and then I rolled them up like into a burrito. I wrapped them up in bacon wrap, and I popped that in the air fryer for about 40 minutes to the temperature reached 165 in the middle. And again, when my wife likes something like that I make, I know I got something. And those things were really the best. And I'll do like bacon wrap steak, and I just love experimenting with cooking. Yeah, so that's a lot of my foods that I make. I get them all up on my channel. Again, I got about 200 or 300 videos that I'm going. I never edit. I never put them up for some reason. I'm trying to figure out what I want to use out of it, sections out of it. Yeah. So
Jason's in the house from just Jason's Keto, another great channel out
hi,
here.
Jason.
So I did do actually him and I just did a video together as well. So
Yeah, I saw that video.
His channel is, yeah. So um, cool. And he's also he actually said that I guess he lost some subscribers or something. He's down to 666. That's not a good number to be at.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I think you should try to get at least one more, just up or down one, just not 666.
Right,
So what's a
right.
typical day for you a typical
Well,
day for you in the life of Ron
oh,
and your weight loss?
well, I usually get up at 2 o'clock in the morning. The reason for that is because I used to work third shift for many, many years, and I'm just so used to getting up at that time. As a matter of fact, Amir I went to school with Amir D. Mazzarella. He's been our longest mayor in the Commonwealth for 30 plus years, and I went to school with them since I'm 5 years old, and knew him throughout my entire life. He's got a shop called the Main Street Cafe, and he's got a TV program every Thursday night talking about the stuff that goes on in our city. And he gave me a cup that said the 3 o'clock exclusive 3 o'clock club inside Leominster. And he did a live broadcast from his Main Street Cafe one morning, and we all went down there. We got on TV with him, and it was pretty cool. And so a typical day for me is I'll get up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I spend about an hour praying, and I like to have my time, and then I'll have a couple of cups of coffee, and then I'll start going on seeing who posted new videos, like Alan and some of the other YouTubers. And if they got a live chat going on at that time, I typically would go in and see what's going on. And I don't have breakfast in the morning. I usually don't eat before 11 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 12. They also tell you, too, the longer you can hold off to eat, the more successful you'll be losing weight. And but here's what the problem is: when I went back to work and I wasn't eating in the morning, and I was trying to do OMAD. I think a lot of you guys and gals know what OMAD is. One meal a day. I took a 3-day challenge. I lost it after the second day because when I got home, I didn't eat nothing all day, and then I ate my first meal, and then the next day I didn't eat till about 6 o'clock that night when I got home, and I was kind of like I'm eating everything in sight, and that's not good for you. I mean, that's fine if you're younger and you could do that, but when you hit a certain age, like I'm in my middle, now almost late, I'll be 67 in August. When you hit our age group, your body needs food. You got to fuel your body, and again, you got to listen to your body. So when my feet is better, when I can go back to work, if I'm scheduled to work an 8-hour shift, I'm definitely going to be bringing a lunch that I can eat and just warm it up in the microwave. And where I'm working at the grocery store, I can buy anything that I want and go have it that day, but try to make sure that it's something that I can have that's not going to spike my blood sugar or anything like that. Now, Alan, do you use Mojo Meter?
No, I don't. I have one. I don't use it very often.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest with you. If I don't find it very beneficial to do that. Now, I did wear a CGM, and if I did that for a short period of time, just for a couple of weeks, I would do that if I could get them for a reasonable price. Just because to me that's more realistic, because then you can actually see what the food is doing to you, and rather than pricking your finger and all that stuff. It's pretty beneficial if you're doing that. And I would wear a CGM if I could get it at a reasonable price, and or get somebody that would want to sponsor it and give them to me for free. And that's what happened. The one I got was a Nutrisense. Actually asked me if I would want to try it, and so I did. And it was actually very, very interesting. So
I had one. I bought one. I used it at the very beginning, and I still got it in my drawer. And it probably would about maybe about a month's supply of strips there. I should go back and test my my levels just for giggles to see where I'm at. But I don't use it too much anymore. I was just curious if you use that. Now, they said you lost about 60 or 70 pounds. So between the two of us there, we lost pretty close to 200 pounds with two people. I was going to tell you guys and gals a little bit of story there now, because everybody knows a couple of years ago what happened and everything got shut down. But Donna and I play bingo on Friday nights. And so when the bingo started up again, somebody asked my wife, she goes, "Did you get a divorce from your husband or something like that?" He goes, "Why?" Because it looks like you're with somebody else. And they didn't recognize me with all the weight that I lost, and they thought it was pretty funny, so that kind of made me feel good, and people realizing how, like again with you and all the guys and gals out there, how did you lose all your weight and stuff? And again, I was going to get that weight loss surgery, but in the end, I goes, no, it's not for me. I'm just going to trust my faith, and I'm going to take it off the old-fashioned way, and I'm going to work hard to get it off. And I still haven't hit Wonderland. For those guys and gals know what Wonderland is, it's under 200 pounds. A couple of times last year, I came close. I went 203. And one was because when I was in the hospital, when I had my hip surgery, I was eating their junk for a few days, and they pumped the heck out of my legs and all that, trying to make sure I didn't get any blood clots from my hip surgery. And when I came home from the hospital that day, I was like 203. And back in January or February of that year, I was at 203. And then my weight's going back up to where it is now, 220. But Alan, if this is where I'm meant to be at 220, I'm fine with that. A lot of people told me, Ron, I don't want you to lose any more weight, because if you lose any more weight, people are going to start thinking that you're sick. But if I don't lose any more weight, I'm okay with it too.
Yeah. I'm kind of in the opinion that you do what you think is necessary and don't listen to other people, right? So
right.
And there's a lot of people out there that think that you should be a little overweight is much better than being at weight, and I think it's really up to you. Whatever makes you feel good. Don't worry about somebody else's opinion. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and Jess from Keto Rewind said it perfectly. You do you, and that's what best advice she gave me. You do you. I see Jason said he tracks ketones for 6 months or so, and then after that was glucose for another few more months, and then I stopped tracking. I was just reading one of Jason's posts. I don't track the ketones anymore either. I just I listen to what my body tells me.
And again, if you're in ketosis, your body should be burning most of the ketones, so your ketone should not be really that high. If it's really high, that's something else going on. So, at least there's a lot of different thought process. And whatever, if something's working for you, and that's kind of where I get to. I get to the point where I'm tracking for a while. I know Johanna's talking about that she hasn't tracked to this day, and that's great. But for me, if I don't track for a while. And I go for long periods of time where I don't track at all. And usually what happens is I'll start putting weight back on. And when I do that, that's when I start going back to tracking, because then I got to figure out what's coming into my diet that shouldn't be there.
Right.
And for me, the easiest way to figure it out is by tracking. Right. So I can kind of look at it and say, oh, well, I'm introducing these, and maybe it's this salad dressing, or maybe it's something else. It's some condiment that I'm using, or something else that I just kind of put back into my diet, and it's having an adverse effect on me, causing inflammation or something else. So
and when I feel like I'm picking up weight because of I'm depressed or something like that, typically what I'll do is I'll do either a beef and butter fast or an egg fast for a few days, and it always gets me back on track again. Now, some of you guys and gals don't know what that is. An egg fast is eggs, butter, and cheese, and you can eat up to 6 to 8 eggs a day. It's recommended that you do at least one egg in the morning, half an hour after you get up, and you can fix your eggs up with any keto-approved condiments that you want, and that's pretty much it. And of course, make sure you get your water and all that good stuff that you're supposed to get. And when I do an egg fast, I love doing egg fast, but the problem is I've had so many eggs over the last 2.5 years that I feel like I'm going to turn into a chicken and start cackling in the morning. So I eat eggs when I'm in the mood to eat eggs now. But in the beef and butter fast, it's just basically any beef. It doesn't have to be ground beef. It could be any beef. It could be chicken, poultry, anything, and then butter. And how simple is that? And I love that. And I could eat that 24/7 on the beef. Beef has always been a really good friend of mine. When I have the beef, the only thing I won't eat is liver. I can't stand liver. But other than that, I'll have that. That always helps me to get on track.
Yeah, I know for me. So if I wasn't tracking, and I guess to me, I would probably. And I think I'm not very far off from it. I kind of eat like Joe from Two Crazy Ketos. Most of the time, I'm eating meat of some sort, and it's generally some kind of a whole meat or something like that, chicken or steak or something. And then usually once a day, I'll have some kind of vegetable, small serving of vegetables, or something of that nature, and just to add in some flavor and some taste and some variety, just because I kind of like that stuff. But I do track total carbs, and when I'm looking at things and trying to figure out, even if I'm not putting them into my tracker, I'm kind of looking at them saying, well, what are the total carbs in this? Is it going to add a lot of total carbs to me or not? And I know when I first started doing it, I was doing net carbs and it was great. But then I got to a point where I stalled and I wasn't losing any weight. And it really wasn't until I started switching over to net carbs where I started moving again. So,
Oh yeah.
But
yeah. So when I was talking about that video earlier, that week 5 video, I looked at it and it goes, "Oh my gosh, I lost 20 pounds that first 5 weeks that I was on the ketogenic lifestyle." Now, and
yeah,
like with you, I was really following it to the letter. I was doing the 20 net carbs a day, but I suspected that a lot of that was just a lot of water weight that was coming off in the very beginning, because I was doing a lot of flushing, to put it politely. But I just, I just, it's been, the other thing that pisses me off now, Alan, I'm a huge sports fan, back in the Tom Brady era, we won a lot of championships going even back with the 2004 Red Sox. And I was never able to fit into their shirts. And now I can fit into their shirts and not winning any more championships.
Yeah.
So,
well, maybe the Celtics this year. So they're doing very good. They're looking good.
I'm actually thinking the Bruins, because there's never been two, and all the championships our Celtics have won. There's never been any one year where the Celtics and Bruins won the championship in the same season. So it'd be interesting if we could change that this year. Get the birth. I know that by Bruins, they fell behind 2-0 today. They came back and won 3-2. Yeah. So we bought him. We got a little kitty cat. We added a little addition to our house, and she's 9 weeks old. Actually, she was born January 1st, and Wednesday she goes in for her first checkup, and I'm going to have everything taken care of Wednesday. And I fell asleep. She came up to me, and I was lying down on the bed. And today she came up. She put a little chin right underneath my chin, and she was singing to me. And she fell asleep, and I fell asleep. And a little paw was wrapped around my neck, hugging me. I mean, how cute is that, right? So you got to love these little precious creatures that God gives us to to comfort us. And her name is Oreo. She looks like a tuxedo cat, and she's but right now she's a kid and she's getting into a lot of mischief. So she's keeping us quite busy. So
that's pretty good. I mean, you got to have a dog or a cat, and depending on some people have both, right? So
well, yeah,
unfortunately,
I'm going to get a dog, but here's what the deal is with the dog over here. We live in an apartment, and of course, the dog, you got to bring them out all the time to do their duty. Otherwise, you're going to have to be constantly cleaning up a mess. And if you're not going to bring them out, then you're not going to scold an animal. If you're not going to bring them out, if they're going to be pooping on your floor. And but my problem is, if I had a dog and put the dog on a leash and the dog got away from me, how am I going to go chase a dog with a bad hip? You know what I'm saying? So that wasn't a good deal for us. But I am thinking about early when the spring breaks, we go walking again when the weather's not so bad. Is getting a harness for my cat, bringing her out walking, maybe with my wife, and just let her walk around, but hold the leash. But I want to get the harness, the full harness, not around the neck. And I think she would really like that. But I wouldn't mind bringing her outside when the snow, because I was telling Alan they was expected to get about 1.5 feet of snow in the next couple of days, Monday into Wednesday. So that would be interesting to show what snow looks like outside. But then again, I'd have to be chasing her in the snow and be coming in the house all wet.
So what do you do for exercise? What do you do for fitness?
I just do mostly walking. At the very beginning of my weight loss journey, I joined the gym, and of course, we had everything all like in the bubble wrap inside the gym and all that stuff there. And I joined a gym called Option One. It was a good fit for me. And I was doing the exercise bike, and I was I can remember that. In fact, a couple of videos I got to repost. I never posted, but when I lost my first 50 pounds, I already call those kettlebells. I think they're little kettlebells, the tea kettles, and I was demonstrating with them how many of those I had lost. And I had 2 of them in my hand, and they were 5-pound weights, and I could hardly lift them up. And I was demonstrating that I lost 50 pounds. And and I was how I was demonstrating it was like I lost like 10 of those to equal out to 50 pounds. And can you imagine that? I couldn't even lift that up. So when I put that back down, and I was telling people in my demonstration video, can you imagine all that weight on your body, putting all that stress on your heart and your joints and everything? And Alan, I'm lucky I'm lucky I'm alive today. I'm not kidding you. If I hadn't done anything with my weight, I don't think I'd be here talking about it. You know, and so I lost 105 pounds total since August the 17th of 2020, and that gym had closed down. But I'm thinking about maybe at some point going back to a gym because it's a lot more safer doing exercise inside a gym now, and they got trainers that'll help you. I used to. I never wanted to join the gym before, and I was always afraid that people would make fun of me and stuff like that. And I realized that, you know, I don't care what they say anymore. You know, I'm not there for them. I'm there for me, my health. And you know, it's just like with the store. Everybody there wants you to succeed. And my mission on this planet, my mission's not over yet. I just want to try to keep inspiring as many of you to get out there and get healthy, and that's what my mission is.
Yeah.
So that's
for
what
me,
I
the
do.
thing that used to drive me crazy when I used to go to the gym. Now I have a gym now. I put it together in my garage, just a really simple one. But when I used to go to the gym, though, it used to drive me crazy because I used to go after work. So it's like 4:30, 5 o'clock, and you would have all those school kids in there, and they would be in there in big groups of 5 or 6 people, and they would sit around a piece of equipment, and they'd be talking 90% of the time and working out very little, and they would consume a lot of the equipment in the gym. And I don't know if it's just where I am or whatever, but they used to drive me crazy because it's hard to get on the piece of equipment at that time because the gym is pretty crowded. And
then I used to go walking a lot. I'm a photographer, and in fact, they had got a job for the local newspaper, and I was getting paid quite handsomely for my work. And I'd go on a location and snapshot a photograph, and I get its story, right? Photojournalism, and that was going along great till they let everybody go because they couldn't afford it in the budget anymore, which was fine. But at the very beginning of my weight loss, I was going out walking a lot and stuff like that. I went to Mount Monadnock, and my friend Warren, the guy was like 80 years old, and he wanted to scale the mountain. Well, I made it to the bottom of the base that day, but here's what the problem was. I had my cane with me. That was before I had my hip surgery. And we didn't get there till about 1 in the afternoon. So it was 3 by the time I got to the bottom of base. I go, no, Warren, if we climb 2,000 feet, how am I going to get down off the mountain if I can't? And I don't want to spend the night in the mountain. And, if you're going to scale the mountain like that, he was a Boy Scout, a Cub Scout, Boy Scout master. So he knew the mountain very well, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I wasn't quite prepared to go up the mountain all the way to the top that day. And if you're going to do that, get there like 7 o'clock in the morning, and plan on being there all day because it might take you 2 or 3 hours to climb that terrain because it's very rough. And then you get up, you got to get down, right? So But I'm definitely going to go back there this year after I get my foot taken care of. And I go locally. I go walking throughout my city, and I'll snapshot photographs of buildings. And I'm in the middle of doing a past the present book where I take some of the older photographs from the early 1900s. The real old photographs, and I'll pair them with what they look like today and with a little bit of brief history. Now I'm getting ready to write a book about that, and I do a lot of stuff like that, and again, I'm a local volunteer for the city. I do a lot of stuff for the city when I'm not taking a break from it right now. I'm just taking a little bit of a breather from it right now because we got really nothing going on in the city. I think our next big event he's got going on. He's got that Light the Town Purple, where he liked our town all purple for cancer and stuff like that. And then, of course, in May we'll have the Fireman's Memorial going on down in May, and then the Memorial Weekend event. But if I'm working, I don't care about that stuff anymore. None of that stuff matters to me anymore. But so this is pretty much how I lost a lot of my weight, just going out there walking every day and just trying to get everybody inspired the best I can. In our city, everybody knows who I am. I can't even go outside the city without somebody saying hi to me. It's just good in some ways, but in other ways, I'll have my Spotify playlist on, and I'm listening to it, and I want to go walking because that's the point of it. walking and getting some fresh air. And when you get somebody they'll pull over and say, hey, Ron, somebody will pull over and they'll talk to me for an hour. Next thing I know, that took away from my hour time walking. I mean, I bet you I could go to Boston and people would probably know me up in the Boston area, you know. I mean, I got almost 4,000 people on my Facebook page, and I met pretty much mostly all of them, you know. But I just, that's who I am. Anyways, I'm just trying to help as many people as I can to get
You
out
gotta
there.
get those 4,000 to come over to your YouTube channel. So
yeah, as long as they don't get up to 666, I'll be okay. 6,000.
yeah.
That was
So
pretty funny.
Johanna's talking a little bit about, because we were talking about the animals, and she was talking about she has, I guess, a couple of cats, a dog, and she actually lost Baxter, one of her dogs.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's they become family. I mean, they really do. Animals become a really big part of your family. And
We had a cat. Her name was Angel, and anyway, she was a very nervous cat, and when people used to come over the house, she used to hide. She used to go under the bed and stuff like that, and she was always under the blanket. And then we had a horrific thunderstorm one day, and she got stuck under the couch, and I had to bring her to the vet that day for a follow-up, and the couch fell on top of her, and I couldn't save her. And it broke my heart, and I cried my eyes out for 2 months afterwards. And eventually I ended up moving on from it, but it devastated me. And sadly, but it's, when my mom passed away of cancer, my mom at some point told me to move on with my life. And I did, but I think about my cat more than I think about my mom. It made me cool to think that way. But our kitty, when we got Angel, we got her a little bit too soon, and my wife had to literally handheld her with a bottle and feed her that way until she got a little bit bigger. So she became our kid, and when you do get an animal like that, I can relate to what she's saying over there, losing an animal, because it's really, really hard, But this one over here, she's like I said, we got to check up with her Wednesday, and hopefully things will be fine, and maybe he'll get her a booster shot so she's not so wound up all the time. She's keeping me pretty busy.
Yeah, they're a big part of the emotional support and stuff as well. So they're there when you feel sad or you feel down. They're the ones that are coming over and kind of making you feel better and trying to lift you up. Right?
I can remember Angel one time when I went to school, Alan. I had a ton of homework, and I was going to school full time, and I got so frustrated with my homework and my books, and I was trying to learn the Adobe programs. And if anybody knows what I'm talking about, it's a very complex software. And I took all my books and I slammed them up against the wall. And Angel, she came up on my desk and she put a little chin right on my hand, and she was looking at it and she was calming me down. And they sensed that, and I was fine after that. But I have that kind of relationship now with the new kitten now that we have, and she's finally bonding with me and my wife, and eventually she'll mellow out. She's just going through stages. But the only thing is right now she's playing with a lot of my wires. I'm afraid that she's going to be a fried pussycat, like the animal. Remember that Christmas Vacation movie when the pussycat got fried with that chair, and there was a big hole cut out in the floor with the cat. I'm thinking that's it. I'm gonna wake up one day. That's going to happen to her if she's not careful with these wires. I don't know how to discourage her for not biting on the wires.
So how about sleep? I know a lot of people that are doing keto and they seem to have some issues with sleeping. I know Tom Garvey does. I know I do occasionally.
I don't have any problem sleeping. I usually get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. If I need a nap in the afternoon, sometimes I'll crash out in the afternoon and I'll take a nap there. And, so I'll be on the computer just doing my regular work on the computer. And all of a sudden Donna will look over and I'll be over here like sleeping in my chair like this. And so, well, if you're going to sleep in your chair, why don't you just go lie down and just take, and I do. I do all my, this is my back room. We have 2 bedrooms here. We got a huge apartment. We live up on the 4th floor with an elevator. That's one of the reasons why we took the apartment. And it's no 2 apartments here are alike. This was in one of the older buildings in our city. It was leaning over on the side like that. And they propped it up and they lifted it up and they renovated it into 42 apartments that went up for a lottery drawing. And Donna and I got accepted. So the day when I got a call from the office, she said, you want to come down and take a look at your apartment? You could take whatever you want for floor, whatever you want for apartment. So we took a 2-bedroom. We would have had to be paying $200 more for a 3-bedroom. So we took the 4th floor, and this is where I do all my video editing. I do all my by prepping my food over here, and then when I have to cook the food, I'll move it into the kitchen. And now with the background noise and everything, I try to cut that part out in the living room, and then I'll add some music to it, which I wasn't doing from the beginning. And when I'm talking over a video, sometimes I never went to school for culinary school. I never did home ec or anything like that, and sometimes I'll mess up. I'll say teaspoon when I meant to say tablespoon or something like that.
I do that a lot.
And I'll try to correct it if I can correct it. So don't criticize my videos if you see that. And I did one video this past week where I was doing I forget what it was, but anyway, she had mentioned it. She said, "Well, how come you?" Oh, I did sloppy joes. That's what it was. And she said, "I thought this was going to be a recipe." I goes, "No, I was just explaining to you what I was going to have to eat that day." So what I did was I took a pound of ground beef, and then I took a half a can of Manwich and sloppy Joe mix, which when I did the macros with keto was fine.
Yeah.
But you can make your own sloppy Joe mix, and I saw some other recipes, but I was in a pinch that day, and I had to. I was getting ready to go to work, and I wanted something to eat, right? So I just put it all together like you would a regular sloppy Joe, and I bought some of those mission wraps, and I had a couple of those that day. Now, and that satisfied me, and I was full that whole entire day. But the next one that I plan on making, I'll make it from scratch. I actually have the recipe. But I mean, I'm okay with buying stuff like that once in a while, but I don't have it all the time.
Yeah. All right. Well, Rick from Twin Brook Acres is in. Hi, Rick. Hey, Rick. How are you? I think it's Rick, right? And Jason was complaining about when we were talking about sleep. He was complaining how he had his grandkids this weekend, so now he's going to sleep all week. So I got to say, so last week on the live stream, someone had mentioned about taking magnesium before they go to bed. So I've been doing that this week because I'm one of those people that I wake up go to the bathroom in the middle of the night and I can't go back to sleep. So I've been taking that magnesium about a half hour, an hour before I go to bed. And it's actually, I think it's helping me a lot this week. So I've been able to sleep a lot better. And it seems like I fall asleep faster. And when I get up and go back to bed afterwards in the middle of the night, I fall back asleep. So I think it's been helping me. I do wear a Fitbit, so I track my sleep score, just kind of mentally more than, I don't track it like on a chart or anything, but, and Jason's saying, that again, Ron's Keto Cafe. There's a link in the comments here. If you go up to the comments, also there's a link down below. So go down there in the description below, and you'll see a link to Ron's channel as well. So don't forget to do that. Next week, or actually, Jason from Just Jason's Keto is going to be my guest next week. So I've actually done pretty good. I actually got 3 guests in a row. That's pretty good.
And again, if you're not a subscribed member to either one of our channels, please subscribe to all our channels and all the other marvelous creators that come in here and check out all these video vlogs that we do. It's been a marvelous experience helping as many people as I can. I would suggest for another great tip is try to find, if you're new to keto and new to weight loss, try to find a friend to do it with. I mean, and get support from your family. It's very important to get support. And what's really tough on me is many of you might be experiencing this. It's hard when you're the only one losing weight in your family, and your wife and the rest of your family don't want to do keto. But you can make some non-keto foods. Well, you can make keto meals and tell them it's not keto, and you'd be surprised that I do that all the time. And a lot of times my wife will eat it, she won't eat it, but I mean, that's kind of almost the toughest question that I've been asked. Well, what do you do if you're the only one doing keto? And you got like about 4 or 5 people in the member of the family. When I was doing the Jenny Craig's and the Weight Watchers, I used to buy those prepackaged meals and all that, and I found I was spending 3 times as much because I had to buy food for my wife and my food for myself. And then I realized, well, geez, I could just make many of those meals myself. And so when I switched off to keto, that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm planning prepping my meals for the entire week, and I do a lot of meals like that.
Yeah. So again. Bubbles just reiterated about, I guess he was having trouble sleeping as well. Since he broke his back, and he's taken magnesium, and it's been helping them. And Johanna's the same thing. She takes 400 milligrams, 2 in the morning and 2 at bed. Wow. Total of 10,000 milligrams of D3 daily. Wow, that's a lot. So it's good. I take the D3 K2, but
yeah, that's what I've been taking lately. I've been buying the D3, and my wife knows. She goes, "You notice your hair is getting a little bit darker over there?" He goes, "I don't know if it's from the medication or what. I just don't know that." But at the very beginning, when I was doing low carb keto, I was doing the collagens and the and from the perfect keto, and she noticed that my hair was starting to turn gray again, and it goes, "Well, I don't know. It could be the collagen that was, having that effect." I haven't done any collagen in a while because it's very expensive, but. I don't know. Maybe I should go back and buy some more of it. But they have some really great flavors out now. Perfect Keto has a lot of great flavors and a lot of great products too.
Yeah. Perfect Keto is extremely expensive on everything they have.
Yeah.
So unless you're getting it on their 50% off sale, that's about the only time I'll buy stuff from them. I'll buy it when it goes to the 50% off, and then I'll get some stuff on it. And then but I don't generally, do a whole lot of Perfect Keto just because it's so cheap. I find that you can go to like Costco or somewhere like that, and you can get the Vital Proteins, collagen, pretty cheap and stuff. So cheaper, I should say, right?
Yeah.
Johanna says she can't take the K2. Due to blood thinners. Oh, okay, I understand that. So now we're over the hour mark, so I would ask Ron for if you had to meet somebody new and they were asking you, well, how do I start keto, or what should I do to start keto? What's the one bit of advice that you would give them?
I would say that the one bit of advice that I would give anybody that wanted to start keto is do your research, get permission from your doctor, because keto might not be right for you.
Yeah.
Try to find a partner to do it with, and make sure you try to get family support and trust your faith that you can and you will succeed doing this weight loss. Because Alan and I, and I'm sure many of you guys and gals have your fair share of ups and downs, and I've had mine, but I've gone months without not losing any weight, but I've never given up, and I never plan on giving up. I'm going to stay on keto for the rest of my life. There might be times when I might go off of keto for 1 or 2 days, but I'm right back on it the very next day, and I don't have any more pity parties. You just have to stay with it. That's all I can say. That's the best advice I can have.
Yeah. All right, that's great advice. So just keep it simple and keep it keto, right?
Yeah, yeah. Remember, you do you, and listen to what your body tells you.
Yeah. All right, so we're over the hour mark. So I think we're going to end the live stream here.
Okay.
You want to stick around for a minute, Ron, and
thank you, everybody.
Thank everybody for coming. And go ahead, Ron.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channels if you're not already. And if there's any questions you want us to answer that you might have forgot, just send us below in our show more there, and we'll be glad to answer any questions that you might have. And if you wanted to see more videos of my cat and more videos of my local community where I go walking, my walking adventures, I'll be glad to put little video clips out for you guys and do some more live pop-ups from time to time. Yeah. And maybe if I can get outside during the snowstorm, maybe I might go do like a little live with the snowstorm or do a video, because sometimes the internet connection is not always good when it's snowing out.
Yeah. All right. So you guys are awesome. Thank you for coming. I really, truly appreciate it. I'll be talking to you again next Saturday, same time, same channel. Hopefully you join me and you come back. And I'll talk to everybody next week.
You have a good